Okay. So did you were you able to identify the issue for the Outlook?
Uh, no, Logan. That's what I was using the date. But the thing is, I remember I have created using SolidWorks and it ran successfully. Can I
Mhm.
show that once?
Sorry, come again once again.
I mean, I created a sequence using Studio Excel a long time back. But actually, I ran that and I was able to send email from that.
Yeah, you can. Okay, try it out. Send an email.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can use the Outlook version also and give it a try. Let's see that. We're able to find it.
Yeah, this one.
Okay, use Outlook 365.
Yeah.
Hmm. So this is a separate one that you have to download. So I'm
Okay.
talking about the one which is already available. Okay,
Okay.
so this topic was not mentioned in one of our coverage area. That means the course content. We don't have this Office 365, but what you did is correct. You can do that too. So when you go to the activities, you would have downloaded the package Office 365 for that. Go to activities. No, no, no. I mean to say activities. So we can work with it, but you need to have the package expand app integration, expand mail. Okay. I think might be it's a go to packages.
Yeah.
No, no, no. No, manage packages in the top. Yeah. Go to project dependencies. Scroll down and see. Yes. So mail activities, what is the version? 1.10.4. Okay, come back to the one which we are working on and see what is the version included in that mail activities. I think do one thing in activity search, type Office 365 in the left side, or just type 365. That should also be fine. Okay. If it is not that, how would have used it? Did you use Studio X?
Yeah, students.
No, Studio X is a different one.
Okay.
So we're not using Studio X, right? Okay. So don't use Studio X here. Studio X is for our desktop automation. Okay. So just give me 1 minute. I'll be back. Okay. But so whatever we do, but this IMAP and POP3 should be working. In your scenario, I'm not sure why it is not working in your machine. Do you have your local machine, right? Can you minimize your screen and go to your local UiPath Studio, the one which you installed in your machine? If you have installed, can you go
I
there?
installed in VPN actually. It's a remote desktop
Okay.
where I have installed UiPath.
Can you do it to your local machine? Let's give it a try. Maybe usually the VM has a security issues, right? So maybe that's the reason it's blocking us from accessing it, because POP3 and IMAP should be easily accessible with the details what we have furnished. Okay.
I need admin access. Right now it is not possible. By tomorrow I
No,
can
but
install.
yeah, fine. As you wish on that.
Okay.
Now come back to the VM. Then let's go for the next topic. So do you have MS Access in your machine? Okay. So create an we're gonna work in the database activities. Okay. So go to manage packages. If database is there, it's fine. Otherwise, go to manage packages, go to all packages. See, project
Database is not
dependencies,
there.
nothing but, sorry,
I don't have database access.
no, let me complete it. Okay. So project dependencies is nothing but the library functions, which is already in place, which we are working on already. Okay. In order to search for something new, in the left side, can you see all packages? Go for it. Otherwise, specifically, you have to go to that particular link and then use it as you wish on whichever the way you want it. Type for database. Yes, click on that and install and save. Since you don't have the SQL database, so we're gonna work with Access. Okay. Can you open a MS Access? You don't have Office 365? Type Access alone. I think you don't have Access. Okay, let me take you through the syntax. Fine. Yeah, minimize it. If you bring out Access, then we can show you the demo on that. Let's do one thing. Check in your local machine. Do you have MS Access? So can you send the files from this machine to that machine? Vijay?
You can copy paste it. You know, send.
Okay, fine. Then it's fine. Okay, go for blank database. Okay, so give the name as training or test. Okay, click on the folder symbol. Click on the folder symbol. So from the drop down, can you see save as type? Can you see the drop down? Yes. From there, choose 2000 2003 format because that format alone works out. Okay, click on OK. Now click on create. Now the file is created. Press Ctrl S and the table name is test. Click OK. So can you see the test in the tab title? Right click that. Or in the top, can you see view? Click on view. In the left side, view, design view. Can you see? Yes. Now in the right click, can you see ID next to prior to that? Can you see a key symbol there? Right click that. Uncheck primary key. Okay. So next to that, auto number is there, right? From the drop down, choose number. Okay. Next one is name. In the second row, below ID, type name. Name. Okay. Data type. From the drop, click yes. Okay. Okay. So third one is age. And from the drop down, choose number. Save this. And in the left side, can you see view? View. Above that, can you see the icon? Click on the icon. Yes. Now fill up some values here. Just create 3-4 records. That should be. Okay. Save this file and then send this file to your VM. It's in your documents, I think. The file name is training. Scroll down. It's in the documents only. Send out an email to this one. You can't copy paste just like that. You have to send it through an email only. Do one thing. Can you send it to your Gmail, and from Gmail you can log in and download it? No, in the VM. Okay, fine. Yeah, sure. Save it as a draft. Should be fine. It doesn't need to send an email. Okay, now come back to UiPath. Come back to UiPath Studio. Okay, so now create a new sequence and name it as database. Create. Okay, so now what you have to do is go to activities. Under app integration, you can see database. So since we don't have SQL, but the syntax, I'll take you through it. Okay. So first thing is connect, drag and drop connect. So it's simple. We have a wizard kind of thing, which makes it easier. Click on connection wizard. So here we have to choose the files. Okay. If it is a SQL server, click on SQL server. So click OK. If it is a SQL server, then we have to provide the following information: which server, username and password, whether it can be login with Windows authentication, and then which database. So all this four information we have to provide in order to get connect with, and then you have to give test connection and then click OK in order to generate the two string values, which is connection string and provider name. Okay, for SQL I'm talking about. So if anything else, can you see in the top, click on change, choose access database file, access database file, click OK, click on browse and choose the file that you have downloaded. So if your access file is protected, you can give the password, otherwise it's not required. Okay, click on test connection to verify whether the connection is valid. Click OK, OK, click OK. So on the right side, you can see two values being generated, connection string and provider name. So always when you use connect, so that means the connection instance is made. The same way it has to be disconnected. So for that we use disconnect, drag and drop disconnect below connect. In the left side, you see disconnect, drag and drop below connect. Okay. So from connect, we have to create a variable which will be the input for this one. So it is nothing but database connection, which holds the property details about it. Okay. Click on connect. So on the right side, can you see database connection? Right click and create variable. So which will be holding this connection string and the provider name. So can give you the word as con, enter. So click on disconnect and declare the variable name. Can you see database connection? There you can declare it. Okay, so this is one method of it. Okay, so now we're gonna see how to work with the other set of activities. This is for the connection, what we are talking about. So can you see execute non-query and execute query. So drag and drop execute query first between connect and disconnect. So here also we have the configuration wizard, but if you want to make it simple that only one connect and one disconnect, rest everything shouldn't be using. The variable which you created by connect can be passed as an input to the other set of activities which is placed in between. For this execute query in the right side, can you see connection string and provider name? That will be generated when you use configure connection. If you don't want to use it, you can use existing connection. There, you just declare the variable name, but you can't keep any database variable active when it is crossing disconnect. So it'll be the instance will be deleted. Okay. So now in the edit, click on the existing connection and declare the variable name there. No, we already have a variable name, right? CON, we created, right? CON, that's it. Click OK. So the connection is made. So we have created the table name as test, right? So we're going to run a query there. So select space asterisk space from space the table name test. In between double quotes, type select asterisk from table name, which is test. So this will get you all the records present in that, and the output will be a data table. On the right side, can you see bottom? Create a variable for that dt result. You have to create a variable there. It is not already created. Okay, so now the result will be stored in the variable. Now, next one is execute non-query. Keep that above the execute query. Okay, so now same thing in the right side. Either you can individually give the connection string and provider name, or you can directly declare the variable. So here it works for insert, update, delete. Those queries you can execute in execute non-query. The output will be number of rows affected. Suppose I'm loading up 10 rows query in this, that 10 rows affected, 10 will be your output. If I'm making an update query, 2 records are deleted, 2 will be your output. Similarly, as per the number of records processing based on the query which you provide will be your output. Okay, so now in the execute query, okay, and one more thing, anything apart from this 3, if you use anything, then the result will be -1. Okay, so here in the insert query, in between double quotes, type insert test, insert into test values. So in between the circle brace, start and end. In between the circle brace, start and it is part of the query, Vijay. If anything has to be placed out of double quotes, I'll let you know it. Okay. So in that one, the first one is the number. So give a
Yes,
number value in between the circle brace. Type 1, 2, 3, comma. So second of the string value, you have to use single quotes. In between single quotes, give a name. And after the single quotes, give a comma. And once again, there is a number. Okay, because we have 3 columns. Okay. Now leave it. Click outside. So now right click connect, set a breakpoint. and then play the program, or run from this activity also you can do. Anything is fine. Run from this activity. Step into. Step into. Vijay, just listen to me. That's the reason. Syntax error. Insert into. Values, I said, not value. Stop the run. Change from value to values in the second execute non-query. After test values it is. Now do a step into directly. Click on debug and click on step into. Can you see debug tab? Debug tab in the top. Vijay, just listen to me, Vijay. In the top, can you see debug tab? Move your cursor to the debug tab.
Okay.
Can you see home design debug? Go there. Step into. Click on that. Step into once again. Step into. Step over. Okay, so now the rows are affected will be 1 because we have added up one row. In the left side, can you scroll down under the properties? Under locals only, just scroll down slowly. So if you can see, the number of rows affected is given as 1 because we added up one row record. Scroll little up. Stop. Can you see affected rows? 1 because we have given one query to get affected. So based on your result, the values will be populated accordingly. Okay, now do a step over. So you will get a data table name, and can you see the under variables dt result? Click on edit dt result under variables. Can you see all the click on the edit? Can you see all the records, including the one which we have added up? Okay, so that's all. So insert, add, modify. So all these three activities can be performed there. Okay. So if you don't get it, even you can move your cursor towards the activity to see the description about it. Okay, cancel. Let's move on to the next one. Stop the process. Okay, so now can you see insert? So this is the other same method, but to insert the rows directly instead of one at a time, if you are loading it up, if it is of same format, you can use this method to load all together at one shot. Okay, drag and drop insert below execute non-query. Okay, so it's going to be the same. Nothing changes in that. Right side, the variable name. Okay, so given, okay, next one is table name. In between double quotes, type test. Okay, so below to it, you have to give the data table name, the one which we are reading it. So execute query is there, right? Drag and drop it above the insert, and that the data table output which you are getting, right? Declare it there in the insert. Okay, so now what happens to the table? The same records will be loaded up. So instead of providing one at a time and then loading it up, it'll be just like an import activity. Okay, so now what you do is once after this, after the this thing, drag and drop insert query below, or do one thing, right click execute non-query, disable it because otherwise it'll be one more duplicate record. So right click, yes, disable it and drag and drop execute query below insert so that the rows will be inserted and then we're gonna see the number of records present in that. Right, copy paste once again the execute query. Okay, drag and drop one above the insert because the input has to be generated. For that we need it separately. So execute query above the insert. So it will read, it will generate the result, and then it will be stored in the query. Clear? And then it will be disconnected. Run and check it out. Okay. So now do a step into. Just as you said, do a step over, one after the other. Okay, so now we will be getting first initial records, step over and stop. So don't click on stop. I said what you're doing is stop. See the number of records present from the select query before we're updating insert. It is in the top. Can you see? Yes. Click on the edit. So how many records are there? 6 records are there. Okay. After this, it becomes 9 records. Okay. So now click on cancel, step over. Okay. So now step over once again. Now go and check on the DT results values. Got it? So since we have not defined any unique or primary key, that's the reason we are playing around that. But if there is in the real time, there will be no duplicates will be allowed. Okay. Is it clear? Any doubts from anyone? Guys?
Okay.
Okay. So now there is one more activity under database. Can you go there? Start transaction. So this is stop the process. So this start transaction, which is similar to connect and disconnect, but the only thing is it is in between the container. Okay, so next what we have to do is, so drag and drop start transactions. This is similar to your connect and disconnect. Okay, so now drag and drop start transaction.
Then
Start transaction, keep it below disconnect or above connect. So it's also going to be the same. Okay, so just move your cursor towards the activity. In the left side, just move your cursor towards the activity. Start transaction. See, just move your cursor to that. Yes. Connects to a database and returns the database connection. So providing a scope of database activities, if use transaction is set true, on the right side, can you see option? So if it is set true, any operations that are being executed in single transaction and applied the changes in the end. That means if you're doing anything, something out of the box, something what I can say is this use transaction is not checked. What happens? it has to be executed individually. If one of the transactions fails, it directly go to the end. Same thing vice versa for the previous one. So if it is not, that means if it is not having records, it will be going proceeding further. So if it is committed, then it will be saved. Okay. Basically, you're gonna execute a certain activities of connection, disconnect, insert. Okay. If you have used the checkboxes checked, then it will be what I can say. So if it is set true, the contained operatives are single transaction and applied to the end of record. So each individual record, it will be updated and then the same will be processing end to end. Okay. So next one is you have to create a variable everything and then you can access it in this area. It's similar only, not a big difference, just like your notepad and other application content. Clear? Can you move on for the next one? Any doubts?
Yeah.
Okay. Collapse database now. So this is how we work it. Always remember when there is a connect, check for disconnect if it is there. If it is not, you can use. Okay. So now collapse database. Let's go with Excel now. Close database. Create a new sequence. Excel activity. Collapse it. Can you see Excel? See, there are certain activities which you saw in CSV, the three activities, read, write, and append. So all these three is here. If you see the difference, this Excel activities will be interacting with the Excel application and then perform the activity over there. Okay. So now, can you see Excel application scope in the left side? Drag and drop it. See, all the activities apart from this, whatever you do, has to be placed inside that, and then only it will work. Okay. So now you have an option is given to choose the file. Do you have any sample input files for Excel? Or any Excel file with the data?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, choose any Excel file which you don't use it and which you don't see it as a sensitive, then select that. Choose anything, just we're gonna check it out. Okay. In the right side, you have the option. So if your Excel is a password protected, you can give the password. So if the file doesn't exist, you can create a new file. Okay. So can you see macro setting enable all? Okay. So can you see read only, save changes, visible? Okay. So now these are automatic. If you say visible, that means it will be visible. Just give me one. Okay, so now you have to create a output variable here. In order to close the workbook, we need this. Okay, so right click, create a variable, which will be holding the properties of inputs, whatever we have given. Okay, so create a variable as WB, that should be fine. Enter. Okay, so any activities that we're gonna perform, whatever you see under Excel can be worked and will be working only when you keep the activities inside the server. If you keep anything outside, it doesn't work. Okay, so now first thing, so you can try with the one which we already aware of, read range. Can you scroll little down and drag and drop read range activity, write range, and then append.
Different range. Looks like I have declared outside. Right?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Looks like I have defined this outside.
No, if you keep outside, it doesn't work. I said right, it should be inside the do activity, then only it will work. So the only difference between the CSV and here, you can see clearly, you have to give the sheet and you have to give the range. Range is nothing but usually in the Excel you would have followed A1 to B5, A1 to 8. That is what range it's asking for. So you have to provide a range if you want to read a particular set of table values. But if it is anything that is present, then you can directly give double quotes. If range is required, you can use range. If double quotes, then double quotes. That means if it is double quotes are leaving blank, that means that entire sheet data will be captured. Okay. So we can give the sheet name present in the file and the output will be a data table for you. Okay. So you can try it out this thing, this three activities. So next one is write range. Same here. If you want to write any data, so you have to give the sheet name below. Sorry, sheet name you have to give. So you can give any new sheet name also. One thing is it shouldn't be present. If it is present, it will throw an error. If it is not present, it will create it. Okay. So the sheet will be created and the data which you have given will be filled with it. Next one is append. By the name, you can understand that append is nothing but, so you're going to read the data which you have read. If it is need to be integrated with, or what I can say, it should have the old data as well as new data, then we will use append range. Okay, so that old data also will be there. The new data will be updated in the end. Okay, is it clear? So just give a try from your end. I'm taking you through the syntax. So it's easy, not difficult. Okay, for all the three, you have to mention the proper sheet. If the sheet is not there, it will throw an error. For write range, it won't be asking any errors. Okay, so next one, what we have is read cell, write cell, and read formula cell. Can you drag and drop it? So in the right side, can you see? It was asking the cell address value. So what is the value present in the cell address will be extracted and then given as a output for you. So which you can make a condition check whether that is the right column or right cell value that I'm looking for. Okay. So here you have to give the address value, that is mandatory. You can give a range, it should be a single cell. Okay. So next one, what we have is write cell. So write cell, you can use it to write the data or the formula. So it's used in both the ways. Okay, so you have to give the cell value. The cell value can be a formula or just a value. Okay, so next one is append line. Scroll little up In the beginning, it will be there, append line. Can you see append range under table?
Yes.
Drag and drop it. So this does the same thing. You have to give the sheet name, data table, and the path location, and that should be doing that. Okay. So can you do this and give me an update tomorrow on this?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, practice on this and let's meet up tomorrow on this one. Any doubts, let me know. So it's going to be the same, but you should give the sheet name. That's mandatory. And then practice on. Okay.
Leave
So
as double
read range,
quotes.
you can keep double quotes. That means the entire sheet data. Whatever the data present in the sheet will be extracted. If you give a certain range, then that alone will be extracted. The other data will be still missing.
So
If
in
you're not
right
aware of
range,
the range or sorry, come again.
in the right range, we can give any column name, right?
See, let me show you. So you have a table like this. Okay. From which cell I want to write. Suppose I mark from here. I have 2 into 2 matrix of data table. Then it will be updated the values here. So this is the start cell. I'm defining it. From which cell the data table value has to be populated, that I am defining through cell address. So you have to give a single cell address. From there, the data table value will be filled. Clear? Hello?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Then it should be fine. So just do a try and let me know of the things. Okay. So furthermore, we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Any doubts from others?
No, we're good.
Okay, then let's meet up tomorrow. Okay. So just practice on those topics. Just write it down the doubts and clarification you need. So next section we can clarify. So if you practice and we clarify, it'll be easy for you to understand and you have the things in the mind when you want to build up something. Okay. So let's meet up tomorrow, guys. Bye.